And I think it's going live.
Hi.
It says setting up a meeting. Maybe. Let's see.
Mine says streaming live on Facebook.
Okay. Here we go. So we're live. It worked.
All right. We're getting there.
Us. So I want to just thank you real quick for taking some time and, let's talk about what all's going on. First of all, I was going to say that, we've already talked a little bit. I'm glad that you guys are doing well and everything at home, because you are in the same situation that we're in with a little tiny human at home with nowhere to go.
Yep. I definitely sympathize there. The tiny human is ruling the roost, that's for sure.
Because how old is she?
She just turned 2.
Okay. Yeah, because mine just turned 5.
5, right? Yeah.
So it's the attention span is pretty short. But we're doing a good job. My wife's doing an amazing job with the different homeschool stuff and trying to schedule out activities and all that. But it's been funny as I've had more and more of these Zoom calls with different agents and just people around. Everyone's got their kids involved and around. So sometimes when we feel that we're overwhelmed, everybody else is going through the same thing.
Yep, we're all in this together, which is, I guess, the one, I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's just the reality of the situation. We're all in this together, so.
Yes, exactly. So overall, just wanted to get your opinion and kind of talk to you a little bit about what all is happening on the lending side. So this is Hannah Holycross, and she works with Renasant Bank. And just wanted to get her on here today to talk about what her and her team are seeing as far as, is the market slowing down? Is it speeding up? Is it stuck? And kind of get your opinion on where things are going. So let's start then and just say, what are you seeing now? Are you guys still kind of seeing a steady flow of buyers and pre-approvals coming in, or is that starting to level out a little bit?
So, the housing market is still moving is what I'm seeing. Of course, we've had this huge refi boom when rates plummeted a couple weeks ago. So a huge number of refis. I have seen less purchases than in years past. I do think that is slowing down maybe a little, but people still need to sell and still need to buy. So overall, I still see the market moving.
Are you seeing any kind of slowdowns as far as time goes with closing? And, I say that because we just had a closing last week, and it was a government, it was a USDA loan. And, we had a day delay. It wasn't terrible. But, with just everybody working at home and work phones aren't necessarily going to cell phones and everything. So I'm wondering if you guys are seeing any kind of delays like that, or if y'all are pretty much still sticking to schedule.
On the purchase side, we're pretty much sticking to schedule. On the refi side, things are just slower. With as much volume as came in, to all companies, in order to keep the purchases still moving at the right schedule that have more of a time constraint, the refis just have had to take a back burner. And that's just the way that it is right now. But purchases are still moving pretty much as planned.
Are you still seeing everything within those purchases still, working well as far as like the appraisals and stuff go? Because I know the way that appraisals are happening right now, that's changed, right?
Yes. So appraisals, the appraiser no longer is going in the house, obviously for concerns of, contamination. So we're just doing drive-by appraisals. The appraisal is done completely from outside of the house. So for purchases, I'm not seeing that have any effect. For purchases, the appraiser can get all the information on what the house currently looks like from the internet, should they need to, in addition to what they see from the exterior. For refinances, though, if there has been an improvement or, a reconstruction, some sort of improvement inside, that's not being reflected. So that's really the only issue where I'm seeing there be an issue with the appraisals.
So I guess with you saying that, with everything is drive-by right now, it's really important for the agents when we are listing something to have kind of our best photos and stuff, and not to do the, the little cell phone photos or like halfway in it, because our photos could really make a big difference now, right? Because an appraiser is going to call that.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. The photos are really, what the providing the value of the home right now. So all those little details, making sure all those little details that make the home valuable are captured is more important than ever. And I'm sure that's probably the case, I would imagine, with buyers too, who might be, more hesitant to go thoroughly search the home and look in every corner. I don't know. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, that's one of the bigger things that we've done now too, is I think if before we were maybe using video and video walkthroughs occasionally, now we're using them all the time. I know the last couple listings I've had, we're doing full videos throughout. We're doing all the drone videos and stuff above to really try and give people a good idea of what the house looks like, because you're right, everyone's very hesitant about going out. And that's a big thing that we're having to do now too, is reassure everyone that we are sanitizing everything before they come in, before a buyer comes through, that we are providing hand sanitizer at the door. We're turning all the lights on already so that you don't have to touch any switches. We're even cracking doors open so that closet doors are already open, pantry doors are already open so that no one has to touch doorknobs and everything, and trying to do as best as we can. But I think what you were saying too is one of the good things that we're really seeing now with buyers and sellers is that probably the most serious of buyers and serious of sellers are who is in the market right now. The buyers that were on the fence, that were maybe, I could buy now, maybe not buy now, I'd be okay. They're out. They don't want to have anything to do with this right now. But like you said, there are still people out there that still need to buy a home and they still need to sell a home. And those are the ones that are out in the market right now, and the ones that we're trying to, protect as best we can.
Right. And I feel like some of those borrowers that maybe weren't as serious, I have one, for example, that, he was looking to buy sometime over this next year. But who knows how long we're going to be in this situation, and he wants to be moved sooner. So it has made him more serious. Even though he wasn't feeling as pressured before, now he says, this is what it's going to be for a while. So we might as well get it done now, because, the future is just very unpredictable right now.
Yeah. Which is a good little segue, because that leads into another question I wanted to ask you, and that's about with your underwriting and what you guys are seeing there, because I have seen some deals recently fall through where it's uncertain right now if people, there's so many that have been laid off or furloughed, and there's so many who are afraid of being laid off or furloughed. How is underwriting handling that? Are they kind of looking at jobs and saying your job is very secure, but yours might be iffy, we're not sure?
Well, I wouldn't go quite that far. As far as all the loans that are already in process, we're trying to get those closed out with business as usual, doing the same sort of checks that we have been doing all along. For new loans coming in, though, especially government loans, it's all about risk mitigation right now. So I do think, and I do anticipate that, for example, verification of employment, when the underwriter, when all the verification of employment is going on, I think that there's going to start being more questions to the employer of, are you sure that this employee is still going to be employed 3 months, 6 months down the road? So I do anticipate those questions becoming commonplace in this process.
Yeah, and I've heard kind of, I guess, at the end of the closing period, when everything's kind of verified a second time, that's when, I mean, you guys are really being cautious and making sure that, okay, 30 days ago when we talked, job was good, but now we're on day 0, job's still good, everything holding on. So you're seeing that's probably going to be more of a strict thing. Do you think that'll carry on past this too?
That's a good question. I mean, I think that once we get over this, whenever that may be, and we return to business as normal, I think that will, go back to just a standard verification of employment and not so much looking to the future, just are they employed right now? I think it will go back to that. When job security comes back and that sort of thing. And personally, I haven't had any loans where it has been an issue, where the borrower has been laid off or furloughed right before close. Although I'm hearing of that happening, I just personally haven't had any where that's an issue. So I can't really speak to that. But I think that this is just sort of very much in response to the instability of the job market right now. And I think that will go away.
Yeah. So, what the biggest question that everybody wants to know, they don't, as far as jobs and all that, it's like, whatever, rates, what is happening to rates? Because we have been in, some of the best interest rates for, I don't even, we used to say, and we've been in this period for a year now or 2 years. I mean, this has just been going on forever, that we've had such good rates. And I know that when everything started happening with the economy and stock markets are crashing, that's when everyone gets concerned. Okay, well, what's going to happen to the housing market now? So what are you guys seeing with rates, and where do you think those rates are going to go?
Well, quite honestly, over the last month, I'm seeing giant swings in rates. It's been crazy. I mean, overall, rates are still historically close to the lowest point. However, on a day-to-day basis, I mean, just like with the stock market, I'm seeing huge swings. So my recommendation to borrowers is, if you are comfortable with the rate, it might not be rock bottom. We don't know when rock bottom's going to hit. We might have already hit rock bottom, honestly. If you're trying to play it to get the best rate, you might end up regretting that decision. So if you get to a rate where you can lock on that rate for the amount of time that you need and you are comfortable with that rate, go ahead and lock. I don't recommend, trying to hit rock bottom, because, like I said, we might have already been there.
Yeah.
And over the next few weeks, months, I mean, we're just expecting, honestly, more turmoil. Yeah. So it's just going to be up and down.
Well, that's kind of what we've been telling people too. As far as home values, it's hard for us to, really say one way or the other, because we're so early into this. And, we would like to think that rates maybe will stay where they are or go down, but just everything is kind of back and forth, that it's, we don't have that kind of magic crystal ball right now, I guess, that everybody talks about. But also, one of the things that I've really noticed through this, and I want to see if you've seen this too, is just how everyone's more coming together and working in the transaction. I posted something earlier about, agents get these egos and attitudes and nobody wants to help you. And I'm just seeing an outpouring of everyone's like, no, what can we do to make these deals happen? It's kind of comforting right now. So I wonder, are you guys, sort of seeing some of that same thing come through too?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I feel like everyone is sort of in the all hands on deck mentality. And, everything has changed so much. But the housing market has to stay strong. It just has to for our country. So we have to keep it moving. We have to do whatever that is. We're all working mostly from home now, and, in weird, not ideal situations. I'm in my laundry room right now.
Which I saw your Instagram post earlier with that one. You're like, is this ideal? No. But does it work? Also no.
Yeah. It's just not great, but everyone really is coming together right now. I totally feel that as well. I totally see that as well. You know, everyone's just saying, what can I do to make this work? And since, you know, most people have kids, like we were saying, so they're not, you know, they're getting pulled in different directions during the day. I see people working late into the night because, you know, the kids go to bed and that's what you have to do. And, you know, that might not be ideal. That might not be, you know, what we want to stick to overall. But it's what's necessary right now. And people are definitely, I'm seeing everyone stepping up.
Yeah, I mean, last week when we had that USDA loan, we had government workers working past 6 p.m. on a weekday getting stuff done. So, I mean, that shows crazy times. We're in crazy times.
If that doesn't say we're in crazy times, I don't know what does. But yeah. I see that as well.
Well, I do. I appreciate you coming on here and you know, giving us this information. This has been a really big thing on everyone's mind about what's happening and, you know, where's this going, especially in a time like this with so much uncertainty. It's good to hear that you know, we're not totally collapsing out right now. The real estate market is still moving. We are still listing. We are still have buyers, and we still have contracts going back and forth. So, you know, it's going, and I appreciate you coming on here and talking to us. I am going to put your information somewhere like down here after this is done in one of the little comment things. So if people want to reach out to you and have more questions, they can. But thank you very much. And I hope that you can get through the rest of today and next week and next week and next week.
Yeah, for who knows how long.
Yeah,
I you know, in closing, I'll just say that the good thing is the market, people still have to buy, so people still have to sell, and home values are staying strong. So we just have to get through this period and hopefully just, you know, wake back up from this coma.
Yep, exactly. So thank you very much. If there's any other questions, I'm going to forward them over to you for people to answer. But thank you very much. And like I said, have a good rest of the week then.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Have a good one.
Thank you.